We were looking at getting into the pub trade for some time before we actually looked at the Chequers itself. We looked at some other local pubs out in villages and some other places around some other local breweries. They weren't exactly the places we were looking for. We had a template in our mind about, we didn't want to be stuck in the middle of the countryside, but we didn't want to be in a big city.
But we wanted somewhere of a reasonable size as well.
Yeah.
And somewhere that you had capacity to do food. Because a couple of the places that we looked at, the bar area was great, but we wouldn't have been able to do the food covers that we wanted.
Yeah, on the economic thing, it just wouldn't have worked. So we looked at some other pub companies that have got pubs in the area, because we wanted to stay here because our family's growing up here. And noticed and discovered that the pub The Chequers was actually going. So then we started actually looking at Fuller's through the website and any kind of publicity material there was for the company, mainly online, and then we started actually approaching the brewery themselves about taking on the lease. We'd approached the tenant at the time to say that we were interested in taking the pub on, and he said, well, you obviously need to speak to Fuller's because they want to understand who's actually going into one of their pubs. So we met Nikki here in the pub for kind of a brief informal chat, really, just to learn a bit about us, about what we wanted to do, what we thought.
And about Fuller's and the way that the whole process worked with Fuller's.
Yeah.
And then she explained the full interview process. So we met for no more than about an hour the first time.
Yeah, the first time was just a kind of
to get
live
an idea.
meeting, and then we realised what we had to do to move it on. What would be our responsibilities, kind of financially, legally, business plans, all that sort of stuff. So we went away and started drawing those up, and that's when we moved on to a more formal arrangement, actually discussing with the current leaseholder and the different companies that were involved, the estate agents and all that sort of thing, about what we would need to do. And Fuller's helped us right the way through that. Once we recognised that they were keen for us to take the pub on, they were very helpful about suggesting ways we could deal with the different people that we were going to come up against, solicitors, estate agents, all that sort of thing. So very helpful.
And the different options that we had business-wise as well, and back up for business plans. And then Mike Tist, the director at Fuller's, came down and met us as well. We went through a formal interview process in here again with him and filled out all the paperwork.
Yeah, that's when it started getting a bit scary. Because you're thinking, right, we're going to do it.
Yeah.